Hello and welcome to another episode of The Power in Your Story. It's an interview series where I interview entrepreneurs and we dig deep into how important their story has been in bringing them to their point of expertise and experience to help and serve their clients. I'm Marianne, your confident communication expert, helping you speaking your truth through speaking your story. So without further ado, I'm absolutely thrilled and excited to introduce our guest, Kathryn Yarborough. And Kathryn, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Marianne, as I'm delighted to be here with you.
And I was so excited, I forgot to say that Kathryn is the creator of the Manifesting Clients Academy. So that is an intriguing title. Manifesting is a word, it's a buzzword that all of us entrepreneurs absolutely love, crave for, always want to know, always want more of. So first of all, whereabouts are you? Because I'm in the UK. And Kathryn very kindly allowed me to pronounce her surname Yarborough the UK way. Whereabouts are you, Kathryn?
I'm currently in Central Florida, about an hour above Disney World.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So it's nice and bright.
Blue sky right now. We've had some strange weather here, though. There's been almost every day in the afternoon, huge thunder and lightning rainstorms that are just like the lightning's right next to the house. But for the moment, the sky is blue, the sun is shining, and I'm looking forward to swimming later today.
Oh, beautiful. By the sea?
No, in the pool. I'm actually right at smack dab in the middle of Florida. So it's an hour to the beach, either way, approximately. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So without further ado, manifesting sounds as if that is really your key area. Is that what you do? You're a sort of manifestation, law of attraction expert?
So yes and no. I am, and my specialty is actually working with on-purpose solopreneurs, and I teach what I call a 5-part approach to growing the business their heart longs for. I call it keep moving forward. And ultimately, what we all need to do is manifest clients.
Yes.
So everything that I'm teaching leads to manifesting clients. Now, that being said, when I first started my private practice as a dance movement therapist, is it okay for me to go on with this story a little bit, Marianne?
Oh, yes, let's go back deep. Because see, I'm not familiar, as some of the audience know, I'm often not familiar with the details. So in a sense, myself and my audience will explore it together, which is fun. So yes, let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So in 2001, 20 years ago, I launched my private practice as a dance movement therapist. And many people, you maybe even included, have no idea what dance movement therapy is. And right? So it's really an esoteric, well, I don't know about esoteric. It's a not well-known branch of the field of psychotherapy. And I had worked in a hospital setting on the eating disorder units and just regular psychotherapy issue unit for almost 4.5 years. And that was not the thing for me. I really wanted to start a private practice. But I had no idea how to manifest clients, how to market my services, what to do. Nobody was out there going, I want a dance movement therapist, right? So I went to the library. I got a whole bunch of books out. I learned about marketing. I learned about the law of attraction as it was understood at the time. This was before The Secret came out, for those people who were familiar with this. This was before a lot of people knew about Abraham Hicks. Though I do believe Esther Hicks at the time, I think she was teaching and speaking, but I hadn't heard about her, and I didn't hear about her for probably at least 5 or 6 years later. And about 2006, because I had learned what I learned and I did grow a thriving private practice, actually it was 2004, I was divinely inspired to add a service in addition to dance movement therapy and call that service manifestation coaching. So I started teaching manifestation to anyone who wanted to manifest something. I said, whether you want to manifest more clients or money or a better job or a life partner or more money, you know, I think I said money twice. I was open to working with anybody. And over the next several years, I discovered that I loved working with entrepreneurs, and eventually committed in 2017, committed to working solely with now what I call on purpose, heart-based solopreneurs and some small business owners.
Lovely. So if we sort of backtrack to 2001, where you were a dance therapy therapist, was there a particular reason you'd chosen that actual
Well,
vocation?
so what had happened when so I danced throughout my life, and in college I taught dance,
Okay.
and then I was trying to figure out what to do. I majored in French and minored in econ, and I didn't know what the heck to do with my life. My senior year, I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I'd been teaching dance, and I was having a conversation with my dad, and I think at that point I was exploring the possibility of getting a master's, an MBA, a master's in business, or going on to school and getting a master's of fine arts in dance. And he said, well, you just talk about dance. You seem so excited about that. So I got a master's of fine arts in dance. So there I was, 23, 24 years old. I also dealt with what I would call depression. So periodic mood swings. And so depression, maybe a little minor bipolar junk at the time. Anyway, and I ate poorly, and so mild eating disorder. So I was not a healthy person. I had some stuff going on for myself. I was insecure, though the world probably didn't know it, because I presented well. You know, I was an educated white woman in the United States from a almost upper middle class is family. So I presented to the world well, but I didn't feel that inside.
Yeah, that's
And
fascinating. So actually, you're about 24 or a bit later, because
at 23, 24 was when I I graduated with a master's of fine arts in dance. And I ended up getting waitress jobs. I taught aerobics in my 20s and began my personal growth journey in a committed way. And because I was so like not, I needed some help. I needed help. I didn't know what to do with my life, Marianne. Oh my gosh. And then what happened?
It's on your own then, in a sense, because everybody else thought, oh, lucky Kathryn, everything's going her way, and isn't she doing wonderful? So was there a feeling of slight isolation there?
Oh, I definitely felt alone. There wasn't anybody for me to talk to. The other thing that had happened was around 23, I actually took 3 years to finish my master's degree in dance, and I had a spiritual awakening. And I had no one to talk to about that. And I had the spiritual awakening because in the movement experiences that I had doing this dance program, there was a lot of things that were improvisational that I got to do. It wasn't all straight dance. It opened up my chakras. That I understand now. I cracked open and felt the divine, knew that we were all one. And I had no idea what to do with that. So I went to get to the bookstores. I got these books and I was reading all about energy and chakras. And back then it wasn't that well understood. And there was really no help available. I worked with a body practitioner of some kind. Can't remember the modality that she used at the time. And I also started seeing a therapist, but neither one of them had any clue how to support me. And that was before I left graduate school. And then in my 20s, after I left there, I was on my own. You are so right. And lost and confused and trying to figure out what to do. And, you know, it's funny as you ask this, and I know I'm talking a lot, but I I'm feeling a lot of compassion just because of your question. I'm feeling a lot of compassion for that relatively capable, intelligent,
Mm.
lovely young woman I was, and I had no idea how to find some help. And so, yeah,
And how to blossom that lovely, beautiful young woman.
yeah.
Amazing. And yet you had some insights, didn't you, that you felt um, there was something changing in your chakra because that's what you started to look. So you got, as you say, some inspiration, from divine inspiration, some download. It's just maybe not all of it made sense to you, but there was that seed of hope, and that's what started you exploring in the bookstores.
Yes, there was a seed of hope. I did have a knowing
Yeah.
that I don't think everyone is blessed to have. Some people do, and I did. And I knew that there was another way to be. I knew within my entire being
Mm.
that I did not have to feel and suffer internally the way I did. And it's interesting because this is what, 30 something years later, almost 40 years later. And I've worked a lot with people over the years. I've had, friends, colleagues, clients, and some people get that and some people don't. And if a person really gets it, that it's possible to change inside of themselves, they can heal, they can improve their life. They do. Some people luck out and improve their life by getting help they need. And I think some people don't, and it's sad for me to see that. I think it's possible, but we have to choose it and we have to do the work. It's not, it didn't just happen to me. I worked at my healing.
Yes, yes. You had to sort of untangle things, and you tended to do it on your own, really, through studying rather than having direct one-to-one coaching to begin with. Yes.
Right. And I did do, when I got into my 30s, I did work with some therapists, and I got married when I was 33-ish, and my now ex-husband had a good job. I could afford some therapy. I could afford to go back to school to become a dance movement therapist, and started to work with a dance movement therapist. Actually, I worked with two over the years, and they helped a lot. I had already improved enough to be able to feel comfortable working with people. I remember exploring dance movement therapy when I was around 27, 28. I learned about it
Yeah.
and I didn't feel ready. I was still in too much of my own pain and suffering, but enough had changed by the time I got married and was 33, and that I could go feel like, okay, maybe I could give and help. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Is that what led you into doing the dance therapy as a teacher yourself?
Well, so dance movement therapy is not really teaching, it's psychotherapy. So it's more like therapy, even though I've always thought of myself as a teacher.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a career. What had happened when I had that awakening experience around the age of 23, 24, and I knew that we were all one, my chakras opened. I got it that for us, for humans to be whole, to be healthy, we had to integrate our body, heart, mind, and at the time, behavior is how I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about spirit at the time. The holistic approach that we all know now. But back then, again, it was brand new. And it was like, okay, how do I teach this? How do I help people get present in their body? And I think that piece is still a bit missing, though more and more people get the body component. But a lot of people are not present in their bodies. They're not fully expressed through their bodies, or they're, as you know, as a speaking coach, it's through their speaking. So there's a lot of growth we still have to go. But my point being, at the time, I felt like that was my purpose. My purpose was to teach people how to integrate body, heart, mind, and behavior. And so even I started as an entrepreneur when I was 29. I had no idea what I was doing. I called the business Human Awareness. And then it was a total flop and I lost all my money and all the money I invested in this. And then, because I didn't know what I was doing. And then I was able to go back to school, become a dance movement therapist, and learned how to help people through that modality. Ultimately, after I started my private practice and did it for a while, by around 2010, 2011, I realized I don't want to work with people in that therapeutic way. And I now really love working with on-purpose heart-based solopreneurs.
What did you feel the difference was for you? And what told you, no, I don't want to work in this way anymore? It's been good, but no more.
Right. It was good because partly I think I felt called in the beginning to fix other people. I wanted to fix people. And when I got to the point where I was good within myself, I no longer felt the need to fix people. And it's like, if you want to suffer, go for it. If you want help, there are people out there who can help you. And you can also read books and take all these cool classes. There's so many things available for us. If people want help, they can get it. They just have to choose to do it.
Very powerful.
Yeah,
Because
it was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And I also discovered over the years that I love having conversations with people about their businesses. I actually love understanding marketing from the solopreneur's perspective because it's different from the corporate perspective, though of course there's some overlap. The process that we need to go through as solopreneurs is different. And a lot of people who get into business coaching to help entrepreneurs and solopreneurs are doing it from a corporate perspective. And it works for some people,
yes,
but not for most that I talk to. And I just feel so sad, Marianne, when I hear people tell me how they spent tens of thousands of dollars buying some program, working with some bigwig coach who was really good at selling, but not really good at delivering what they needed. And when people work with me, you know, they still have to do the work. They still have to take risks and learn new things, and everybody does it at their own pace, but people do move forward, and I feel good about how I help my people. But ultimately, if we come back to manifesting, we as entrepreneurs have to decide that we really want clients. And I think that some people still choose to have a job, whether it's part-time or full-time, and because they need it, and to make that leap inside of themselves to actually say, okay, I really want clients. I'm gonna hold the inner stance of, I want clients, I'm attracting clients, I have clients, I'm an entrepreneur now. That's a transition people have to make, and a lot of people waffle there, and there's nothing I can do except for point it out and give people all the tools that I've learned and developed.
So do you find that that is a bit of a stumbling block for many solopreneurs? They're going through the motions, and of course they want clients, but somehow it's not strong enough as in their being.
Yeah, I think that that's true. It's not strong enough, and I mean, part of it's because there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of reasons, and it depends on the person. For example, I was talking to somebody just this week. She's got a job and she likes the job. She likes the job. She's had one client and she doesn't have the experience yet to really know whether or not she wants to work with clients. I mean, she wouldn't say this, but I can see it.
Yes.
She needs more experience working with clients to really get that, yeah, she really wants to do this, and to put that time into it. I mean, with new entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, I do a lot of coaching around just get some clients and let them pay you something, even if it's not the full rate. And I know that's not the normal thing that people teach, but I teach that. It's like, get them in the door, work with people, get the experience of getting paid.
Yeah.
And then from there, you've got more, you can start deciding what to do. And anyway, yeah.
So what do you think, I guess this will also generalize to other people, but what flipped the switch for you? Because you were talking about being a dance therapist and realizing that, yes, you'd started on your own, and no, you didn't really have clients. So what flipped the switch for you that suddenly you thought, yes, I actually want clients, and I'm going to manifest the clients?
Well, you know, it's interesting when I look back, because I would say that there's 3 phases to my entrepreneurial journey. In the beginning, when I started as a dance movement therapist,
Mm.
I had a vision of having a full private practice. I had a vision of what my business would look like, a full private practice, plus some workshops that included movement work and other things. And with that clear vision, and I went about using all the tools that I currently teach people. I used what I call the new story process. I did block clearing because I faced all kinds of inner feelings of people don't want me. And if you talk to any current clients or people who hang out with me, there's still this residual of people don't want me that still is there, though it's so much less, like 99% less than when I started. But I worked through so much of that. I grew a private practice, and that's pretty rare for that kind of a field. And I wanted to support myself, and I got in touch with that desire to support myself with this private practice, and I used the knowledge that I learned through the process, and it works. And it works. And then, so that happened. And then I started to change. And I went through the second phase where I did not have a clear vision.
Yeah.
And my business spiraled down. My income spiraled down, and I struggled. And then a few years ago, I got clearer that I want to work with. I made the decision because I love working with on-purpose solopreneurs. And since then, I've been uncovering the process that I now teach, and is available in my new book that just came out this week called Keep Moving Forward, a guide for the on-purpose solopreneur. And I'm using what I teach in that to craft my vision for my business, because that's one of the 5 pieces to this approach, the Keep Moving Forward approach, just to have a clear vision so that you're actually excited about what you're creating. Without that vision, it's like spiraling around and spiraling down and going off and getting the job and not knowing what you're doing. And yeah.
So that's wonderful. And we'll definitely put a link. I'm thrilled to be, so congratulations to be interviewing you the week your book came out. How very, very exciting. So have you got, before we start to wind up, a little story how maybe manifesting and your vision helped you in a surprising way, perhaps in your private life? I mean, not private, but, you know, non-business.
No, I don't think a lot about my non-business life.
You tend not to sort of all right, do you use the same technique to visualize, or do you tend to focus it more on your business?
I tend to focus on my business. That's the main area that I work with.
Yeah.
However, you can use everything that I teach for every part of your life.
Absolutely. Yes, that's why I was just curious whether that had
Absolutely.
that way. Okay.
Yeah, like my new car. I mean, I made a decision to get a car, and I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to pay for it. And within like 2 or 3 days, when I, clarified that I wanted a car, there was this opportunity and this happened, and within a week or 2 I had a car. So that kind of thing.
Beautiful. That's, yeah.
When you don't have any resistance, manifestation is easy.
Yes, you've got a clear idea, but you're not sort of tugging away at it as it happened. It's 5 minutes later or half an hour later, and you got your car, and the means to pay for it also worked. I just love it when parts of the universe fall together and are there to support that and move you forward. So yeah, that's all I was after. That was a lovely. So I will definitely put. We'll put the link to Kathryn's new book in the show notes. So that's very exciting. And I guess you say a bit of your sort of story there as well. And yeah, is there anything else you want to, and it's very powerful. It's been a very powerful story in how really you started to find your way through, in some ways, some of your own suffering and some of your own struggling. And so that's so powerful. And it's so often the way that sometimes when we struggle, we often gain insights that so feed our future coaching with our clients, because they stick with us and we know how powerful they are, and it gives us that compassion as well. And I just love how you had a lot of insights on your own, and you were prepared to trust those insights, which is lovely. And that you started to get into it before even the likes of The Secret became well known. Out of just interest, just quickly, are your techniques similar to the Hicks and the Secret, or would you say they're different or similar?
Yes, for sure. For sure, they're similar, and everything that I do is with manifestation is informed through that. And I recently shared this with my clients. I would say that until the keep moving forward approach, the couple of pieces in it, everything that I taught and shared was something I learned from somebody else. The one thing that I feel like is really unique to me that's in this book that I'm now really bringing in is this concept that I call the future on purpose self. And I've discovered that we all have a future self, just like we have past selves. I've got my 20-year-old self and my little inner child self. But anyhow, we have a future self. We have multiple possible future selves even. And I have started to work with a few years ago, and I do this with my clients as well, taking people on a journey to meet with their future on purpose self, the one future self who is really fulfilling your purpose. And if we use her as a North Star, she can give us a vision for our business and a direction and a motivation to actually take that action and become her. And that's helped me get out of that swirlingness that I experienced. So that's a really important piece that I want to share and invite people to consider getting to know their future on purpose selves.
Beautiful. And that's a lovely way to end. And I have this wonderful vision and image of our current self and our on purpose self, our future self, starting to take advice from each other and then start to merge. So
Yes.
that's beautiful. And that's something that we wish for all our viewers and for everybody on the planet, really. Wouldn't we be a different place if we could all do that? So it's a wonderful vision. It's a wonderful mission. I'll get the details from Kathryn and put the link to her book in the show notes. And I'll also put a link for some information about me and how you can find out a bit more about me, and a link to a gift that I have for you. I'll put that in the show notes too. And in the meantime, thank you so much, guys, for listening. I think you'll join me in feeling that Kathryn is truly an awesome person. I was really excited to be able to interview her, and she has been a joy to interview. And I hope you'll join us for the next episode. In the meantime, thank you so much for honoring us with your presence, Kathryn.
My pleasure.
Take care. Bye, guys.